There's also Jesus overexisted. These stories were based on several people. That's a good point too, that you have this sort of conglomeration of different stories that were weaved together, that were grafted together, and somehow that so this came. There was a, I think it was called the Jesus Seminar, came out in the 60s and 70s, that aimed to identify the real, what they called historical Jesus. And to Christians, that's like, yeah, that sounds great. I want to find the historical Jesus. I want to see what this Jesus really was like. But they weren't doing it in that spirit. They were doing it in the spirit of, let's forget about all these mythical elements that we assume are embellishments, and let's look at, like, to find the real person, like the human person, the one who never claimed to be God. Of course, as Christians, we understand that you can't do that. This person that they're looking for doesn't exist, because Jesus did claim to be God. He was divine and human. And so if they're looking for such a person, well, they're not going to find that person. And you notice there in that approach, they already have these really dangerous presuppositions, namely that, well, a human can't be of a divine nature, and a God can't be incarnate. Also, presumably miracles can't happen, that sort of thing. If you start with those presuppositions, you're obviously going to end up in a certain place like they do. And that is actually what we see with a lot of these theories.